What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch with SC Weather. Hope y'all been having a great Monday. I made a video this morning. I'm going to make one now talking about the steady increasing potential for a snowstorm for parts of the Carolinas, outside of the mountains too. We're going to break that down, what we know. We're going to show we're going to talk about some in-depth details about the storm. What could set up? There's an intense band that could really set up with this storm outside the mountains that could really isolate certain areas with heavier snow, not just an inch or two, but maybe several inches of snow outside the mountains. We're going to talk about where that might set up and things like that. So before we get going, obviously, if you haven't subscribed and you watch a lot of my videos, it's much appreciated. It's a simple click. You're not tied down to anything. It's just a way to support me, and it's always much appreciated. So as always, I'm very active on Twitter and Facebook. So definitely follow along and leave a comment, like the video if you find it interesting, or if you learn anything from it, or if you need to learn, drop a comment and I'll try to answer your questions as much as possible. But let's get deep into this because there's a lot to talk about here. First off, this is basically the winter weather outlook. Percent chance of a 1/4 inch of precipitation that's in the form of winter precipitation. So it's actually increasing for Friday into Saturday. Well, if you look at Friday, it actually starts for places like Asheville. Asheville, I really think this could be a big storm for you guys in the southern Appalachian Mountains. As we move into Friday into Saturday, chances go up even outside the mountains. You got 30% chance popping up near Greensboro. So in the triad of North Carolina, it's not really in the Charlotte range yet. But I'm telling you, you guys in Charlotte, and maybe even Greenville, Spartanburg, could really get some rain-snow mix. I think you're going to get involved here. I don't think any significant accumulation is going to occur, but I do think you are going to see some wintry weather flying around out there. So you got that. Then you got this. This is the European ensembles. The percent chance of over 1 inch of snow. We're going to start off by looking at this. Obviously, it's almost a surefire bet that you're going to get accumulating snow in the mountains of North Carolina, especially the eastern slopes. Kind of a cold air damming event where you're favored more along the eastern slopes of the mountains. But Asheville, areas just around Asheville, any towns, I really think this is going to be a good thumping of snow, maybe several inches of snow, maybe a major snowstorm in these areas, maybe upwards to a 1/2 foot of snow. We're going to watch this, but this is for 1 inch of snow. I know this is going to be really tiny on your screen, but probably 1 inch of snow grows all the way out to central North Carolina, and you got above a 70% chance, even in Charlotte here in the 60s. Rock Hill, 58% chance, even it sneaks into the Greenville, Spartanburg area. So there's a chance. If you look at the probability for 3 inches, I think this is as far up as I'm going to go. It obviously significantly drops off around the borders of this area, but still very high chance in the southern Appalachian Mountains here of seeing significant snowfall. But you go into this time frame right here. But here we're going to look at the European model. Now, I thought it was going to be a super dry week, but I'm telling you, actually tomorrow it looks like there's going to be a lot of scattered showers around as a clipper kind of pulls through, and it looks like a lot more moisture is going to escape the mountains than what it previously looked like. There's actually going to be a decent snow in the higher elevations tonight into tomorrow. So northwest flow gets going, so they're already going to get snow in the higher elevations early this week. But as we get going, here comes our storm system right here. And I'm really going to focus on the southeast, not really anybody necessarily in Virginia or higher, any really more north than North Carolina in this video. I'm really going to talk about the southeast, but here you go. You're getting into, really, this is Thursday night. You've got snow already breaking out in the mountains of North Carolina, a little bit of snow in the plateau of Tennessee, and it's a little bit of mixture showing up, even in areas in Tennessee, but you get going and the upper level low starts kicking right here. So you're really starting to get some rain turning into snow even in areas of Tennessee. Obviously got this valley effect right here that really kills certain people, but it seems like that's, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tennessee people, but it seems like this shows up a lot, but a lot of times it still snows right here in the valley of Tennessee. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know I hear a lot of people in the Chattanooga area that really miss out a lot. There's a little bit of a snow hole there, but as the cold air funnels in behind this storm, turns into a heavy thumping of snow potentially for eastern Tennessee. I really do think y'all might get hit again. This might be about the second or third storm for y'all so far this winter. But look at the heavy snow breaking out in North Carolina, even outside the mountains. This is some pretty heavy, wet snow. And look right here. It's even getting into South Carolina, Greenville, Spartanburg, near Greer. This is where in the European isn't really it's not super in detailed model. It's not a short range model. We're going to get into short range models really starting tonight into tomorrow morning. But it's showing a band, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this. Really, a band as this low pressure really begins to shift, and you got this upper level low. Upper level lows are tricky. They bring some intense precipitation, but it's really hard to pin down where it falls. It's kind of isolated in general. It can be puking snow one place and 30 minutes down the road, they're in a dry slot and they're not getting really anything. So this could really drop a surprise several inches of snow and maybe somewhere that wasn't expecting it in North Carolina, maybe far, far northern areas of South Carolina. But check out, it even shows mixing getting into Charlotte and Rock Hill. But it's not a favorable time of the day really for Raleigh. And there's just not you're almost getting kind of warm-nosed over here. Some warm air advection here that's really getting involved here. The soundings isn't great here in central North Carolina and far eastern North Carolina. I still don't think you're out the woods, especially this upper level low energy pulls through into North Carolina. Some heavy enough precipitation could really drag down the layers here. And as temperatures begin to crash, I mean, even check out here, there's a little signal right there in Chesterfield, Lancaster, of some heavy precipitation that if it falls heavy and fast enough, they could fall in the form of some heavy wet snow. So it's still snowing in the mountains. But this is a really tricky part of the system right here. As you're getting into late Friday, to the afternoon, to the evening Friday, what is this precipitation right here? You got the low already done shifted off the coast. And it gets going, but it really turns it all to rain. There's not a lot of cold air. You got a high pressure I'm going to show you this in the GFS here, but you got a high pressure that's way up in Canada, and you really need it sitting in around New England, and it's just too far north. It's not funneling in enough cold air or anything, but check it out. This is the snowfall totals off the Euro. It's really aggressive. This is the operational Euro from earlier today, and when you see this, people in Rock Hill, York County, even in Spartanburg, this is really close. You're going to see 6 inches. You're going to be like, I'm going to get 6 inches of snow. No, guys, but it is picking up on a heavy band, a deformation band is what we call it, associated with the upper level low. I just briefly talked about it. It's picking up on some kind of band of heavy snow outside the mountains. Where this sets up, there's a lot of guidance saying it's going to set up around Charlotte. Honestly, it doesn't matter how cold it's showing. If it sets up, you have a chance to see some heavy snow. Maybe it sets up in far northern areas of South Carolina. Maybe it doesn't. But that's why it's showing like 7 inches of snow in Rock Hill, because it has a band of snow setting up here. I don't think that's going to happen. But I'm not saying that accumulating snow maybe in that area won't happen. It's just, I can't say that, But notice, in the mountains are getting slammed. This is a big hit for the mountains, regardless. But as you get farther out in time, it really cuts off. When you get like Raleigh, it's not showing much at all. It looks like there's just too much warm air in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and obviously surface temps are just not workable at all. That's out the question. But even in the upper levels of the atmosphere, the soundings just aren't great. There's too much warm air. And let me tell you, there's not going to be any sleet or freezing rain with this. There's going to be either rain, it's going to be snow. It's going to be that cut and dry there. But this is an impressive, and I tell you what, the European model has been super aggressive with this. This is the ensemble runs. The ensemble run for the European model, the EPS ensembles. Obviously, it's showing that hot area right there in the plateau of Tennessee. It's showing the valley effect, but you're showing this is a classic cold air damming event, and there's a bullseye right around Asheville. Strong signal. Now, if you go in time, notice it bumps up again. There's another system that we're going to be talking about right after this system that really has a chance to deliver another wintry blow for areas of the southeast, maybe the same exact areas that might get hit with this one. Very snowy times ahead for the mountains. Very great for ski country up there. We're going to look at the GFS now. And this is the GFS. I know I've been kind of rambling, and if you haven't watched my other videos, this storm time frame is for Friday. Early Friday into late Friday. In general, this storm is a pretty quick hitter. But there's the Clipper setting up overnight, some snow in the mountains, showers everywhere else. And here comes our system. This is the GFS. Snow breaking out already Thursday night into the mountains. And check out this upper level low. This system is going to transfer to the coast. Here it is. It's on the coast. You got low pressure off the coast. It's actually very, very favorable position for a classic Carolina winter storm, even Georgia. But like I said, and let me go on and zoom out here so I can show y'all what I'm talking about. You can't even really see the high pressure. The high pressure is way up here. You need it sitting right here, and even places here in Columbia could get hit with snow off this look. But check out the snow breaking out. It's the classic cold air damming look. As the storm kind of moves through, it kind of does the same thing the European does, and it's just like a rain-snow mix. But I'm going to get a little bit closer here again and show you what I'm talking about this deformation band that's going to be a big wild card. That's some heavy precipitation. This is the upper level low right here. Temperatures start to crash, and you're starting to get some heavy snow. Now, I clicked this little yellow spot right here. And it's probably, if we can get the soundings to pull up, it's showing 38 degrees. But whatever's falling here, in this case, it'd probably be rain, is some heavy rain or heavy snow. And it's probably not going to be below freezing or anything, but this is the wild card. Some kind of banding is going to set up here. The storm moves out here, and this is the snowfall accumulation, and maybe it can show that band what I'm talking about. It really doesn't show it that well, but it shows a little signature right here, maybe some heavy precipitation, but this is showing several inches in the southern Appalachian Mountains, Lake Junaluska, Asheville, maybe Hendersonville, definitely Hendersonville, any little small towns right in here, Maggie Valley. This is going to be a big storm for you guys, for sure. Friday, it's going to be a winter wonderland up there. But this is what I want to talk about here. Check out this cluster right here. This is banding. You get here, the storm gets over here. This is the banding I'm talking about. You notice there's some kind of, basically, without getting super nerd on y'all guys, this is basically where you see the lines tightening up right here. This is where banding can set up, a deformation band. And it keeps showing it right here, really close to Greenville, Spartanburg, into Charlotte. Actually not in the mountains, but somebody right in here. If you can get enough cold air to get dragged down, somebody's going to get a thumping of heavy snow. And it moves up here, and then you get obviously the low pressure that shifts up here. And here's the issue I'm having with snow and really Raleigh and central North Carolina is this is the 850s. So this is if it's cold enough in the upper atmosphere. We know that the surface temps are going to be hard to work with outside the mountains. But here comes the low pressure, and you have the low pressure at a very good track, but this is like a warm nose right here. This is warm air getting thrown up over here on the northwest side of the storm. And it's really wreaking havoc in the soundings and warm air in the upper levels of the atmosphere. You know, to be a concrete all snow event. So Raleigh's really going to be struggling with that. Obviously Fayetteville and Columbia. This just looks like all rain for us. It's like it always seems to be. You need a simple act of God to really get snow around here, it seems like. But one of these days we're going to get it, and it'll be a special event for everybody. But anyways, obviously as the storm, the upper level low moves through, upper level low brings its own cold air, temperatures, and crash up in the atmosphere, and we have cold air to deal with. But unfortunately, your moisture is moving out. Classic, right? Yeah, I know. So, you know, you got your cold air moves in after the storm moves out. So, you know, that's normally how it is around here, unfortunately. But that's the update for the night. Things are going to keep changing, guys. But I mean, you see it here. National Weather Service already talking about a threat here for a winter storm. This is a pretty solid signal this far out, and the European ensembles are definitely throwing out some alarming signs there for a significant winter weather event for the Southeast. But that's all I got, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a great night.